Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Kat. For today, I will be doing a reading challenge. Yay! This reading challenge is an attempt for me to get through my TBR, or at least a little bit of it. As with past reading challenges, I'm going to have a random number generator choose how many hours I will be reading for the week. But this time, I added a little bit of a twist. Instead of me choosing the next book, I'm gonna have a TBR spinner wheel choose. I compiled a bunch of TBR prompts and put together in a spinner wheel. So let's first start with how many hours I will be reading for this week. Alrighty, so it looks like I got 19 hours, which, guys, I feel is very doable. I think I can get through these 19 hours. Today is Friday, November 14th, and I have till next week Friday to complete these 19 hours. And now, let's see which prompt we will be working with. I do have a few books with blue on the cover. I picked a few books that I saw that had blue on the cover. The first one is A Drop of Crushing by Robert Jackson Bennett, which is the sequel to The Tainted Cup. I did really like The Tainted Cup, and this is one of my anticipated sequels for the year. So this definitely is a contender. I also have The Passengers by John Mars, and as you can see, there is some blue on that cover there. This is a book I have been really looking forward to. I do want to get more into John Mars books, especially because they are very unhinged. I think this might be it, but let's go through a couple more that I have. I have The Teacher by Frida McFadden. As you can see, there's some blue at the top there. I read one book by Frida McFadden called Never Lie. I did not like it. I don't have the highest hopes for The Teacher, but I do want to give Frida McFadden another chance. Final Girls by Riley Sager. As far as I can tell, as far as my eyes can see, the title has blue. I don't know if it really picks up on the camera, but it's like this light blue color. I don't know, it's a little bit of a stretch. I mean, there's some blue here on this face as well. So I feel like if I want to stretch it, I could do Final Girls. Another one that's a little bit of a stretch is Quicksilver. There's some like blue outline on the butterflies here, and then like on the back, some blue on the edges of the wings. The Passengers is going to be the winner. And yes, it's because I've been really looking forward to this book. I will read some of this today, and then I will update you guys on how I'm liking this book. Today is Sunday, November 16th, and I have 9 hours and 29 minutes left of my reading challenge, so we're almost there. I do want to apologize for two things. First, my hair. It's a mess. I'm about to get ready for bed, so I'm just filming this and then I'm gonna go get ready for bed. The audio quality might not be that great because my mic decided to die right now, so I will have to just film without it, so please don't mind. I did finish The Passengers by John Mars. I actually finished this in 2 days. I finished it yesterday, Saturday morning, and then I just took the rest of the day off only because I was getting a headache from reading so much. I don't know if it's because I need to update my glasses or if I'm just focusing too intensely or what. I gave it a 4.0 star rating. This book was pretty crazy. It's basically about like in the near distant future in the UK, they passed a law where all cars are now switched to driverless cars and humans act as passengers in these cars. We follow 5 people who end up getting their car hijacked and they're being televised, and their car is on a collision course. So in 2.5 hours, all 5 cars are going to collide and they're going to die. These people are getting televised to the public, and whether they live or die depends if the public favors them and likes their story and likes their reason for wanting to live. But as we continue to read, we learn that all 5 of these people are hiding some really deep, dark secret. I've come to really like John Mars' writing style. It's very simple and easy to grasp, and the descriptions are so good. It doesn't give too much away where you're able to figure things out. It also leaves some suspense for the reader. Although there are some things that I was able to like kind of figure out or guess, there were other plot twists and revelations that did take me by surprise. As each secret unearthed, it left me gasping because literally I would not have guessed that this is the secret this person is hiding. I do like how this book opens the conversation about driverless vehicles and AI in our everyday lives, as well as posing the question, are we truly safe? Are we truly secure? Is security just a myth? Is privacy really a thing? Because once something's on the internet, it doesn't matter how much you delete it or where you delete it, it will live on the internet forever. It's easy to track people and learn about people through like websites they visit, their search histories, their spending habits and stuff. So do we really have privacy? It is a really scary thought how vulnerable we truly are. As I got towards the end, I did feel a little uncomfortable because of like facing that vulnerability that no matter how safe we think, it's really just an illusion. We're not safe and we don't really have privacy. If you have access to anything online and you do any sort of online work, shopping, searching, browsing, whatever, you in a way are forfeiting your privacy because all of that is being stored. It's all data that's being stored and people can access stuff like that if they have the means to do so. So now the fun part, let's see what our next prompt is going to be. We have a debut novel or series. I will start off with the Twilight series by Stephenie Meyers. So this is her debut novel. It is Twilight season. The weather is very Twilight-esque, so it's very fitting to read this book. I don't know if I'm really in the mood to read it though. I also have Last Stand of Dead Men, which is book 8 in the Skullduggery Pleasance series by Derek Landy. I do believe this series is Derek Landy's debut series. I also have Red Rising by Pierce Brown. This is his debut novel. I think this is the only series he's been working on. I mean, we all know about Red Rising. It's a sci-fi. It's apparently really, really good. There's a lot of people who really liked it. I think it's one of those series that you kind of have to get through the first book, and then once you are deep into the whole series, you're going to really enjoy it. I also have Child Thief, which I believe is Brahms' first full-length novel. He has like collection of his artwork, and I think he has like short stories that he's written, but I think this is his first like full-length novel that he's written. From the research I did, that's what I found out. This is one that I've also wanted to read for a while because I do love Brahms books so much. He is a great artist and he is a great author. And I also have Crumbs by Danny Sterling. I do really want to get to this book. It just looks so adorable and the artwork in here is so beautiful. And I think I'm going to go with Crumbs. Since it's a graphic novel, it should be pretty quick. I'm hoping to get through this pretty soon. I will talk to you guys later. Bye. Hey guys, welcome back. Today is Monday, November 17th, and I have about 7 hours and 49 minutes left on the clock. Although that's probably not the most accurate because yesterday when I was reading Crumbs, I did end up falling asleep and the timer kept running. So I did my best to kind of guess where I left off at and when I fell asleep. I did end up finishing Crumbs. I gave it a 4.0 star rating. It was absolutely adorable. It's so cute, and I do recommend this graphic novel for everybody, especially if you are looking for something to read during the fall time because it has all those vibes. It basically follows Ray, who is a seer, and Lori, who is an aspiring musician. Lori works at this bakery that Ray often visits, and they spark a romance. And at the same time, they're trying to figure themselves out. They're trying to figure out what they want to do in their life, what they want to pursue. A lot of the struggles that these characters in the story go through are relatable too. It's easy for the readers to connect and like these characters. It's low magic, low stakes. The setting is in a bakery for most of the novel, so it's like that warm, cozy feeling you get. The minute I turned to the first page, I fell in love with the artwork. It's colorful, it's gorgeous and expressive. Definitely recommend Crumbs by Danny Sterling to everyone. Okay, now we get to pick out our next book. So the prompt says sequel, which is great because I do have a lot of books who kind of fall under that prompt. Starting with Queen of Nothing by Holly Black, this is the last book in the series. This is one that I have been wanting to get to because I do want to finish this trilogy before the year ends. Then I have Last Stand of Dead Men. This is book 8 in the Scolded Pleasant series, and this is again another one I want to read. This might be a bit of a stretch, but I have Before the Hunt, a collection of short stories in the I Hunt Killers trilogy by Barry Lyga. These are technically prequel stories, but this was published after the trilogy, so take that however you want. I'm going to say it's a sequel, even though the stories in here are prequels. I also have A Drop of Corruption by Robert Jackson Bennett. This is a sequel to Tainted Cup, and again, another one that I want to get to because I did enjoy the first book. And last but not least, Secret of Secrets by Dan Brown, the next book in the Robert Langdon series, which is a series I've enjoyed since I was a child. I don't know if I'm really feeling this book though, so I might not choose this, but this is one that I will hopefully get to soon because I am definitely looking forward to it. To be honest, I'm kind of stuck between these two because I do want to finish Queen of Nothing, but I do really want to read these prequel stories too. I enjoy Jasper Dent's character, and I believe these prequel stories go a little bit more in depth of how his life used to be before we are introduced to him in the first book. I'm kind of stuck between these two. I don't know where I want to go. I'm kind of leaning here though. Okay, so I'm gonna go with Before the Hunt. Hey guys, welcome back. Today is Thursday, November 20th. I have about 5 hours and 13 minutes left on the clock, so I think I'm on track to actually completing this challenge. I apologize, I do look like a mess right now, and I just am having one of those days. I finished Before the Hunt yesterday. This is probably one of the worst things I've ever read in my life, and definitely probably the worst thing I read this year. I am generously giving this a 1.5 star rating. This was just catastrophic. It was a dumpster fire. These short stories are supposed to serve as like background information to kind of help give more context to the trilogy, and the author himself said these stories are meant to be read after. This was completely unnecessary. None of these short stories really added any sort of context or any helpful bit of information. Let's start off with the writing. The writing was so bad, and I don't understand how that's possible because so many of these stories were written years after the trilogy. So you'd think there might be some improvement in writing quality, but like it just went down. This short story collection was self-published, so I don't know if the author sought an editor or multiple editors or worked with their original editor, or I don't know what the case was, but the quality was not great and the lack of editing showed. That alone was enough for me to not have a great enjoyable experience. Like towards the end, maybe like this much or more of the book, I started skimming, did not care anymore, and I just wanted to reach the end for the sake of completing this. The characters were just abysmal. The main character, Jasper, he has a best friend named Howie. He just looks at girls as objects to make out with or to sleep with. That's it. Just objects for his fantasies, nothing more than that. Like, he does not want any sort of friendship or connection. And I get it, again, he's a teenager, but I feel like that is grossly exaggerated. It gave me the ick reading a short story from his point of view. Once again, the author put so much emphasis on Connie's blackness and her experience being a black girl in a pretty much a white town. I hope that the author actually did his research and talked to people with lived experiences, because he is a white man. If he did not make like a note of that in the author's note or anything. If he didn't, then he's just generalizing or stereotyping what a black girl's experience in a white town or white school is like, and that is not okay at all. Let's have the spinner wheel choose our next prompt. So we got partner chooses my next read, and I did ask my boyfriend to choose my next read, and he decided to choose A Drop of Corruption by Robert Jackson Bennett. This is a great pick, so I commend him on his choice. This is an anticipated read. I don't think I'll be able to finish this by the time the challenge is over, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. Today is Friday, November 21st, and it is 10:30 p.m. and I have 3 hours left on the clock, and I am not going to be able to finish this challenge. That's totally fine. I'm not stressed. I still was able to get through some books on my TBR, so I'm not totally upset about it. Just a little update. I am still reading Drop of Corruption, and I'm still in the beginning of this book. I'm actually liking this book. I am enjoying it. I am sucked back into this world, which is funny because when I read The Tainted Cup, I wasn't really into the book at first. I could not get into it. But the second book, I got into it immediately. I do really like Robert Jackson Bennett's writing. Like, he has such a great way of writing that I didn't really appreciate when I first read The Tainted Cup. I heard a lot of people say this is better than the first book, so if you have read this book, let me know. If you guys have joined me along for this reading challenge, thank you so much for being here. I love doing these reading challenges because it helps me get through my TBR, and I definitely loved adding a TBR spinner wheel. I feel like that made it so much more enjoyable. Let me know what have been your favorite reads of the year so far. I have read some absolute gems this year and so lucky to have been able to read them because I feel like they have changed my life. I hope you guys are taking care of yourself. Please be safe. Please take care of yourself. I know the holiday season isn't the most exciting for every single person. If the holiday season brings you stress, please just find ways to take care of yourself. And of course, as always, take care of those around you. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.